Hello everyone, Miss Elizabeth here for First Congregational Church of Muskegon Confirmation Class. For today's video lesson, we turn to Unit 8, the unit in our curriculum about looking for ways to learn and be loving to others. Our lesson today is about letting go and living joyfully. We're following the Progressive Christianity curriculum that First Congregational Church has purchased, although we do not own the copyright to this material. The present moment is the only place we can choose to have an open and joyful heart. Our affirmation is, I choose to live joyfully in this moment and to let go of all worries. We can rephrase that affirmation with the lyrics to a popular song by Bobby McFerrin. Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry, you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry. Be happy now. Here's some more quotes. Actor Jonathan Groff said, just follow your joy, always. I think that if you do that, life will take you on the course that it's meant to take you. And from the Bible, the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 25. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Here's some other lyrics you may recognize. It's funny how some distance makes everything seem small, and the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. It's time to see what I can do, to test the limits and break through. No right, no wrong, no rules for me, I'm free. Let it go, let it go. And yes, that was from Walt Disney's Frozen, Let It Go by Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez. And in the Bible book of Luke, chapter 6, verses 36 and 37. Be merciful, just as God is merciful. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For the measure you give will be the measure you get back. Robert Murray McCheyne said, joy is increased by spreading it to others. And Buddha said, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind in the present moment. And the writer Joseph Campbell said, we cannot cure the world of sorrows, but we can choose to live in joy. Choosing to live joyfully in this moment. It seems to be human nature to weigh down our hearts with the past and project our minds into the future. Jesus admonished his listeners to forgive, to love, to be merciful, and to give up worry about the future or the past. long before living in the moment was an overused phrase. Every true spiritual teacher tells us that the joy we are seeking is within our hearts now. The past cannot be changed. The future is unknown. Letting go of regrets or worries frees our energy to be focused on the infinite potential of the present moment. To make the choice to live joyfully in this moment is true freedom. The freedom to be who we are. What do you notice about your view of the world when you're seeing through the lens of living joyfully in the moment? The Pulitzer Prize-winning author, journalist, and New York Times op-ed columnist Anna Quindlen was invited to deliver the annual commencement address at Villanova University in the year 2000. However, a group of conservative students staged a protest against Quindlen's strong liberal views. The commencement was canceled. Instead of leaving the situation in disappointment, Quindlen emailed the undelivered commencement address to a Villanova graduate student. The speech went viral across the internet, even though in 2000 it was years before social media became the presence that it is today. Quindlen then expanded that into a book titled A Short Guide to a Happy Life. Here are some quotes and outtakes from the undelivered speech. So, I suppose the best piece of advice I could give anyone is pretty simple. Get a life. A real life. Not a manic pursuit of the next promotion, the bigger paycheck, the larger house. Get a life in which you notice the smell of salt water pushing itself on a breeze over the dunes. A life in which you stop and watch how a red-tailed hawk circles over a pond and a stand of pines. Get a life in which you pay attention to the baby as she scowls with concentration when she tries to pick up a Cheerio with her thumb and first finger. Turn off your cell phone. Turn off your regular phone, for that matter. Keep still. Be present. Get a life in which you are not alone. Find people you love and who love you. And remember that love is not leisure, it is work. It is so easy to waste our lives, our days, our hours, our minutes. It's so easy to take for granted the pale new growth of an evergreen, the sheen of the limestone on Fifth Avenue, the color of our kids' eyes, the way the melody in a symphony rises and falls and disappears and rises again. It's so easy to exist instead of live, unless you know there is a clock ticking. Life is made up of moments, small pieces of glittering mica in a long stretch of gray cement. It would be wonderful if they came to us unsummoned, but particularly in lives as busy as the ones most of us lead now, that won't happen. We have to teach ourselves how to make room for them, to love them, and to really live, really live. Consider the lilies of the field. Look at the fuzz on a baby's ear. Read in the backyard with the sun on your face. Learn to be happy. And think of life as a terminal illness, because if you do, you will live it, with joy and passion as it ought to be lived. For those of you joining us in the FCC Youth Virtual Hangout session later today, I can't wait to hear what makes your world joyful in this moment. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.